Hey, so I just want to talk about being on the spectrum for a quick second. Now, I don't have it nearly as bad as some people, but it's noticeable if you know me. And it can be very difficult because, for example, there was a social cue earlier that completely went over my head. And in reflecting on it, that's when I noticed what it was for what it was. But in the moment, I just thought the person was saying something. And that's kind of how it sometimes works with us. I mean, we will catch things that other people miss. Like, there's a speck on my screen over here. It annoys the hell out of me. But I keep it there because it annoys me. And I need to get used to things being imperfect. When things are out of balance or when they're imperfect, um, they make a big impact on people like me. And that's partly OCD. OCD is not an actual condition. It is a symptom of other conditions. So, for example, ADHD, ADD, autism, Asperger's. OCD tends to go hand in hand with those, but if you show me somebody with OCD, I can show you the underlying cause. Give me 15 minutes with the person answering questions. And it's very widely misunderstood because the whole OCD aspect, we want everything balanced. But that's like everything should be fair, it should make sense. And part of being, if you are Asperger's or autistic, you always want balance. ADHD, yeah, we seek balance and it annoys the hell out of us. I mean, I'm probably barely autistic, but I definitely show signs of it. Asperger's, maybe I showed signs when I was a child. Um, the social aspect of Asperger's is definitely present, and I fight it every single day. There's not a day that I don't have to fight. There are so many things that I suppress because it makes people like you feel more comfortable. Now, if you're like me and you're on the spectrum and you're fully functional, well, for the most part, then you know what I'm talking about. It's hard to hide. And after 30 years of it, I'm kind of tired. I just want to be myself. And I would love to walk into a work situation where I can overperform like my tendency is. I always overperform. I'm always the best at what I do. And I'd love to work in an environment where that's respected, where it doesn't intimidate people, where a person is accepted for who and what they are. They might be a little bit quirky, but always having to tiptoe, always having to worry about your job, always having to worry about somebody misunderstanding an offhand comment. I mean, if somebody can take something the wrong way, I expect them to. And that's based on experience. I mean, people say, "Oh, people are nice." No, they're not. They're really not. People are mean. They're cruel. I've been bullied and I've been made fun of all my life. Adulthood did not change that. I just learned how to fight back. It's why I'm a comedian. I had to crack so many jokes before anybody else could get to them just to stop everybody else from joining in. Do you know what that's like? Do you know what that's like in a workplace? I mean, I've overperformed in a couple workplaces. When I say overperformed, I mean I performed so well that people couldn't believe it. And they were looking for things to be wrong because they couldn't do it themselves, apparently. But that's our nature, we're perfectionists. But I've also dealt with harassment in the workplace, and for the most recent company I worked for, like as an employee, not a subcontractor or anything like that, I endured about 9 months, and 6 of them were spent being reminded every week that I could lose my job that I spent $2,000 moving to acquire. And people just don't, they don't understand us. At that job, I was very cautious about what I said and how I said it. I mean, I was informed very early on, don't be yourself. And I think that is that's a shame. It shouldn't be like that. A person like me shouldn't have to hide. I mean, yes, we have tendencies, we have quirks, but we're also hard workers. I mean, I've been writing a book on the subject and driving for 8 to 12 hours a day for Uber and Lyft because I don't trust jobs. I don't trust the people I work for. Every time that I have been disappointed. Meaning, okay, my immediate manager will get promoted. Dan got promoted. Mr. Shallow got promoted. I think Mike got promoted too. And then right after they got promoted, I was gone. It's been very difficult. And there is no such thing as the benefit of the doubt when you're on the spectrum. People out there are so self-absorbed. They're so focused on their own lives that they can't even step aside for 2 seconds and say, that seemed odd. Or maybe I should give them the benefit of the doubt. People don't say that. And I mean, interview-wise and so on, I have to fake everything. There is not a single person alive that truly knows who I am. Not a single person. I have to fake it with everybody to make them feel comfortable so that I can live in this world with all of you. That's difficult to manage. And it's challenging. It's also a very lonely existence because not only do I have no one that understands anything that I go through, like they really don't. They try, and it's admirable, and they truly believe that they do. They truly believe they understand. And they really try to relate. Family members have really tried to relate. Some just have blown me off, and fuck them. I mean, blood is only... They say blood is thicker than water. Technically, yes. But blood is just a compilation of genetic material. Who we become from that blood? Well, I can honestly say that at least half my family I would never be personal friends with. And that's just because some of them are assholes. And they're very selfish. But not a single person in my family knows who I am. It's partly why I started writing this book. I wrote a book called On the Spectrum. And we're seeking publishing right now. Or I'm seeking publishing. But, I mean, it started out as a tell-all of what it's like to be me. And part of it was talking about the bullying. Part of it was talking about being forced on these medications that didn't work. And how I had to basically pretend like I was taking them, then I had to pretend to be normal in order to not have to take them anymore. Because they were really, like one of them caused me to gain weight. I haven't had a six-pack since. I've had abs, but I mean those took hours and hours and hours every week to achieve. I mean, these medications, man, they're bad. I don't like any of it. But I understand why my parents put me on them. I understand that they did not understand who and what I was. And they didn't understand that, along with the few challenges, there are plenty of gifts to being on the spectrum. I mean, for one, I'm fully functional. I'm a fully functional human being, for the most part. And people just don't know what it's like to be us, and they always try to, how to say this? People try to put us in a box, and they develop these false expectations of what they expect us to be like or how badly they expect us to perform. It stops us from getting jobs, if anybody catches on. It stops us from developing relationships. Misunderstanding is the reason I stopped trying years ago. Whenever I walk out, that person is not who I really am. It never has been. Very few people have even the slightest insight as to the person that I am. All they know is the facade, the mask I put on when I go outside to make other people feel comfortable. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of hiding. It's been wearing on me for 30 years. And I can't hide anymore. I can't hide who I am or change who I am anymore. It's just too much. A person shouldn't be asked to do that their entire life. So anyway, I hope this reaches some of you. I hope this makes somewhat of an impact. But mostly I'm just doing this for me, because at this point, I just don't care. I'm tired, and I'm going to be me. Hello, world.